Welcome to Behind the Story, where we discover the story behind your favorite stories. My name's Lisa Renee. I'm a contemporary rom-com author.
And I'm Naomi Craig. I write historical novels set in Bible times. It's big episode, kind of in between right now, but we had some big news that we wanted to share with you, our fans on Behind the Story. Be sure to comment below. We'd love to see your comments and interact with you, and also subscribe so you know all the fancy little tidbits coming out with your favorite bookish news.
So first of all, I was just going to share a bit about my Kickstarter. I've got a book launch. It's just got a few more days left. It finishes about the 14th of August. So if you are here in 2023 watching this, you've got a couple more days to get involved. What a Kickstarter is it's sort of like a GoFundMe for creators, but instead it's a pre-launch, a special exclusive launch for people where they can get an advance copy of a new story, but also there's like cool things and bonuses, special editions, maybe a hardback or a paperback. If I was located in America, there would be like signed copies, and people do. If they're into different genres like sci-fi, fantasy, they do all like fancy things with the covers and
cool.
maps and things and colored pages and all that kind of stuff. So it depends how the Kickstarter goes and different stretch goals, whether people get the extra bonuses. But right at the moment, it's got a couple more days left. I did fund, the Kickstarter went really well, funded within 11 hours, which is great for a first Kickstarter.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so mostly what the cool thing with authors, when they do a Kickstarter, they can promote it to family and friends as well. I didn't personally, but I mainly promoted to my own subscribers. But often, really, mostly you get new people from Kickstarter itself. So I can see where Kickstarter shows you where the people came in from. But mostly it's people searching on Kickstarter under publishing or fiction. And these people read all different genres, and they just love supporting creative projects and like getting these exclusive editions, signed paperbacks or hardbacks, and interacting directly with the author. So the cool thing is that you can do this launch and, raise $1,000, $2,000. Some people raise $11,000 or something on a launch. If they've got fantasy books and stuff like that, that's quite very popular on these kind of platforms. And yeah, they get the advance copy, they get bonuses and perks and that kind of stuff. They get mentioned in the acknowledgements as a backer that you've supported this project. And then the author starts they've done all this work with this launch, but their editing's paid for, their covers are paid for, and then they've got money behind them to actually launch it on the other platforms like Amazon and other wide platforms if they want to do that. And some people, they reach certain goals and they've got money for an audiobook version, that kind of stuff. So it's really a great option for authors to do this pre-launch first, and then your readers sort of get special perks. Like with my one, because it's a different genre, and people aren't caring too much about fancy covers and stenciled edges and foiled edges and whatever, sprayed edges. I did sort of like a special edition where people could have their name as the main character. So I could do an ebook or paperback version where I take out the main character's name and put your name in there. And that was like a special thing. Or if you're a couple, you can have your name as the female and have your partner's name as the male. And I even offered an edition where you could have your cartoon on the front cover as well. So that's something like you wouldn't be able to do that on Amazon. It's a really like a specialized sort of thing to do. So at the moment, just for a bonus, anyone who does back this Kickstarter, I'll have the link in the show notes. I'm giving a bonus ebook from Taryn Daniels. Let me see. Amnesia on Nantucket, which is a cool, fun amnesia story. So if you send a screenshot that you've pledged $4 or more, like got the ebook of Book Boyfriends and Lattes, you'll get a bonus ebook as well if you send me a screenshot. So either through social media, you can contact me through Instagram, Lisa Renee Author, or Facebook, Lisa Renee Author. Or if you're on my subscriber list, you can email me.
So are you all done with the book then?
Yeah, so I wrote the book
Like-
before I did the
Oh, okay.
before I did the Kickstarter, and I
Gotcha.
got the cover design by my illustrator. And then as soon as it funded, I sent it off to my editor. So basically the funds will come in and then that will pay the editor. So this is just a way of like, yeah, where it's not coming out of your pocket, you're getting the money. So it depends on the author, but I highly recommend, yeah, you definitely have the story written before you start the Kickstarter. And then, you know, and then you've got time, you tell on the pledges, like if it's on hardback or something, I allow time for postage and, you know, getting it out to them.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Alicia Van Houten we were just on, and she talked about doing Kickstarter for When the Stars Fought, her biblical fiction too. So it's really seems like it's catching on among the creatives, like you said. That's really cool.
Yeah, even people just doing a novella, like which mine is actually a novella, but I'm doing the whole collection as a special edition, which won't be available on Amazon this year, of 3 novellas in the Bachelorette to Clear Creek. So yeah, there's some other authors, they're just doing like some sweet and clean romance or rom-coms or something like that. And yeah, their goal might be just $500, like to raise, you know, $500, and they, you know, usually hit that. And that's just something behind them to help cover the initial costs and that kind of stuff. Because I have found, like, if you are launching on Amazon as an author and then you spend money on ads like Facebook or Amazon ads, and Amazon's your main income or seller, basically you have to wait 2 months to get paid to get that. So you might sell thousands of books and or you might spend thousands of dollars on a launch advertising, but you won't get that money for 2 months minimum. And then with the Kickstarter, you get your money basically 2 weeks after the campaign finishes, and then you can use that money to pay for everything and start ahead. So it's really, really is a good thing. So I think with this more and more authors are saying, yeah, no, this might be a better way. But not only just that, but just going direct, like selling on the website first, giving their readers, getting it first, maybe getting some discounts or perks or bonus stories, short stories, or that kind of stuff. And then they'll launch on the platforms like Amazon later. Yeah. So I'm hoping to get my friends on board. But yeah, it's actually not as hard. It is mentally, like, it seems like a big thing, like a launch, but it's actually, when you do it, it's really not.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
And you're obviously not that intimidated because you're going right into it again with your pen name. So
yeah, it's going to be
not necessarily even a 1 a year thing. So
yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun doing the pen name as well, because my co-author, she loves doing creative things, and we're going to have stickers and smelly candles and stuff like that. So we're actually going to put one of the candle scents that she's made, we're going to put it in the story. And so some of the tiers with people actually getting the box, you know, like of the gift box, that they will get
the book box,
a signed paperback or hardback, and you know, get these little knickknacks sent to them, which is really like fun and cool. And also would just love doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Well, congratulations. That's exciting to meet that goal and to get it checked off your list. Yeah.
And the story behind the story. So it's Book Boyfriends and Lattes, but it's a bit of a funny title, but what I like to do in my rom-coms is sort of make a little bit of fun about romance reading and cliches, and have fun about just make fun of the whole sort of concept and thing. So when I heard, one time I heard on social media, like a while ago, about Book Boyfriends, I was like, what's that? You know, it sounded a bit weird. And then so what I did with my second novella, I introduced it, The Librarian.
I am a happily married woman, but
yeah, it was just like, what is this? So anyway, I sort of made a bit of fun about it. So there's a single woman, you know, Megan, she's an introvert librarian, and she's the sister of Damien in my second book, Brielle and her man trap, which again is a funny sort of thing just making fun of like matchmaking and setups and that, which everything goes wrong in that book, for that, trying to set up a man trap and Mrs. Baxter being a matchmaker. So it's basically just a bit of fun about that. But anyway, Megan sort of slips out something about book boyfriends, and Damien's like, what the heck is a book boyfriend? What are you talking about?
What is this nonsense?
Yeah. And then so it's just making fun of it, really. And then later, when he is having troubles with his girlfriend, he's broken up temporarily with Brielle, he's going to his sister because she was like, what do I do? And then, what's this grand gesture stuff you're talking about? I need to know it now, So, because she was saying, yeah, book boyfriends, just they know how to do the grand gestures and not like real men, So anyway, it's a bit of fun. And we all know
is
when
she
you're
right though? Is she right? Does he actually change, or is he just do it one time for the grand gesture and then?
Yeah, well, he
How do you
starts
imagine
researching her Pride and Prejudice books, and he's like, "This is intense. This guy's intense. This Mr. Darcy, dude. Yeah, I don't have a horse. Like, I'm not going to. What am I going to ride up and rescue the situation?" So, and then he's like getting really lost, and he's like, she goes, there's movie versions of this. Oh, why didn't you tell me? This big thick book he's trying to like. So then he starts watching the movies, and then he ends up till 2 a.m. watching all the different versions of them, the BBC version and this version, the 2005 version.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, he relates more to Mr. Bingley, which is a bit of a dork, a bit awkward, and but it does give him some inspiration. But not in the hero way that we would traditionally. So
how funny.
it is sort of making a bit of fun of that. So Megan comes from that. She's this new story, Book Boyfriends and Lattes. Again, we sort of make a bit of fun of Mrs. Baxter sort of slips out. She's going to Megan in the library, and she's just talking about she wants the next edition of Lords and Ladies or something like that. And she's like, I think this Lord Darius or whatever is going to be my best boyfriend. And she's like in front of this guy, and she's really embarrassed. And then he's like, what's a book boyfriend? And it's, I think she means the love interest. He's the boyfriend of the heroine and stuff. No, I think it means something else. It's like,
oh man, that's funny.
So it just makes fun. It just makes a bit of fun about the whole thing, really. But yeah, the story is she's this plain and seemingly boring, not boring, but has a very creative mind, and she loves telling stories to the story time with children, and she's very imaginative. And this guy walks in with his niece, but she thinks it's her the daughter. He's in disguise, basically. He's a famous actor, movie star, but she's not into movies, so she doesn't recognize him. He's got contacts on, a baseball cap and that kind of stuff. And she has a lisp, and she calls him Thad, which sounds like dad, but his name is Chad. And anyway, he's really enthralled by her ability to tell these stories, and she's very creative, and she just does it on the top of her head. And then he comes up, he's got a lot of money. Could you write a story for Chelsea? For her birthday next week. I had this cartoon drawn, and I thought it'd be cool to do this book. And because he's like staring at her and smiling through the story, and she's like getting like, this guy looking at me like this, and is he a single dad? And anyway, and then they start meeting for coffees, lattes, and discussing the story and brainstorming, and that's how they connect. And he really appreciates her authenticity, her natural beauty. She doesn't wear all makeup on that, and her brain. And whereas in Hollywood, all the girls and women that he's sort of dated or been around are a bit, Botox and fake, and don't want to have children yet because they don't want to ruin their bodies and all that kind of stuff. Whereas he's ready, he's really sort of having that moment in his life where he's really contemplating what's life all about. Do I really, is this what I really want, where I have to be hiding from the paparazzi and these rumors that are put on, this trashing my name and are false, and is that the life I want to live? And he wants someone to fall in love with him for him. So that's why he justifies he justifies not telling her straight away because he's actually on holiday or vacation, seeing his sister and his niece. And yeah, but when she finds out, she's an introvert. She wouldn't want to be in the spotlight. She wouldn't want to be married to a movie star. Like, that's totally not her. And she's a bookworm, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's where, you know, once it all comes out, where some of the past people from Clear Creek come, like Emily, she's an actress. She recognizes him, and that's when it comes out. And she's just feeling distraught. Megan's feeling distraught that he didn't, you know, share his identity earlier, but he had his reasons. So yeah, and then we got to see, like, how does that resolve? So dun dun dun, you have to get the book if you want to.
Get the book. You know, if you liked, it sounds like Authentically Izzy by Pepper Basham. So if you like Pepper Basham's Authentically Izzy, you should check out Book Boyfriends and Lattes.
Cool. And we've got a few days before your launch, and you've got some bonuses and for pre-orders as well.
Yeah. So for pre-orders, you get you have to go through my publisher site, Celebrate Lit Publishing, and you can either purchase the paperback for, I think, check this before you buy it, for 30% off and free shipping, probably for like 1 or 2 more days, probably ending real fast. But then you can get the ebook for $2.99 until Sunday. And then as long as you register that with the publishing house, then you'll get the free short story. It's called Joseph's Legacy. It's a prequel. We go into Joseph as, this is Joseph with the coat of many colors, the Joseph number 10 of 12. You know, it's, or I'm sorry, I guess he's 11. He's 11 of 12 brothers of Jacob. And how his success, how he was so successful in Egypt. And you kind of see how, you know, he makes some mistakes, he makes some, has some regrets. And it's right when Jacob blesses his youngest son, Ephraim, over Manasseh. So we've got this whole, the younger is more important than the older, carrying on again, because that is like so generationally entrenched in their family. Ephraim is higher than Manasseh. Joseph is higher than the 10 older brothers, and Jacob is higher than Esau, and Isaac is higher than Ishmael. Like it's generationally, it's in their family to have this legacy of sibling rivalry. So it's called Joseph's Legacy, and he of course wants to leave a different legacy than this built-in sibling rivalry. So that's for free.
Cool. So that's Joseph's Legacy. That's a bonus short story, and that goes with Shira's legacy, is it? Or
yes, that goes with Shira's legacy. Shira is his granddaughter, and so you can see just through his excellence, the Lord gifted Joseph. The Bible says everything he put his hand to, he did well. So you can kind of see how Shira's kind of gotten that in her legacy. So Shira's legacy is actually, it's a true story in the Bible. It's mentioned in 1 Chronicles 7, and it's this woman who is known for building 3 cities. They're probably towns by today's standards, and not like full-on cities, but it's 2 of those cities are still standing today. So we get to see this excellence that Joseph has coming in to his granddaughter as well. So lots of fun stuff on that. I've got a book box, including a signed paperback of Shira's Legacy, and also Voice of the Ancient by Connie Lynn Cosette. And her book releases August 15th, like mine, and lots of other fun stuff. I've got this game. It's called Imhotep, Builder of Egypt. That's in there. Oh. And I've got, there's actually, can you believe it? There's somebody on the internet who, before I even was interested in Shira, did a wall art of Shira. Cool. And then my daughter painted the background of this, and then I designed the Bible verse on that. So we've got some great wall art. We've got some books. We've got a game. We've got lots of amazing things in this in this giveaway. And that's open through next week. So be sure to enter. That is for US addresses only. I do have one of 3 ebooks that are open internationally. So I've got 2 links for the King Sumo there. But lots of giveaways, lots of fun stuff happening on the internet this week to help celebrate the launch of Shira's Legacy. So,
wow. Well, it's a long time waiting, and you've worked hard on this. And yeah, so when Naomi does a release, it's a big deal. It's a big thing.
yeah,
a lot of work.
yes.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, support. If you are watching, you follow Behind the Story, you know, support us co-hosts.
Yes.
With our launches. Yeah. And we've been promoting and sharing stories, and yeah, it's a great time, middle of the year, that we are like launching our book babies into the world. So thanks again for your support. Thank you for following us and watching us. And you always know that we have giveaways and things that you can follow. I do have a bonus novella as well that you can get on ebook or in an audiobook, Fake Engagement Mistake. I'll have the link in the show notes for that if you want to follow me personally. And Naomi?
And I have On Desolate Heights, Balaam's story, the story of Balaam and his talking donkey. And that's for free if you follow my newsletter. And we always share bookish things about giveaways and interviews and fun stuff like that. So lots of value for you, the reader. And be sure to, there's 1 or 2 more days left for Lisa's Kickstarter. Be sure you get in on that. And we're just so thankful for you watching Behind the Story. We're glad to share. We love sharing about new books and great authors to you. And we love sharing about our books as well. So thank you for joining us on this crazy journey called Behind the Story. Until next time, let us run with endurance the race set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. See you next time.